with Sarah Wood out here at D26 Career Center, Anderson High School's Career Center, and congratulations,
Thank
Sarah.
you.
Tell us a little bit about the program that you're hoping to run with the funds that you're receiving.
Well, each year the students are involved in CTSO, which is Career Technical Service Organizations, and the one that we use for our CNA program is called HOSA. And so it's challenging for students in our county to be able to purchase and buy like business suits, attire, everything like that. So this will really be able to help make our students really look professional and really feel like they're a part of this whole program by, dressing that professional part. Sure. They have all the tools to be professional, but sometimes financially it's difficult for them. So this will really help them be able to have that role in there.
Well, I know we have a program that we try to run called AMP program, which is Anderson Advanced Manufacturing Program. And one of the things that we try to teach are some of the soft skills, and like you said, sort of how to dress appropriately when you go get an interview or maybe when you're on the job itself. So it is really super important, needless to say.
It is. Yeah, I think sometimes we underestimate. We tend to focus a lot of times on, learning the trade, learning the skills, but we lose sight of those things that we used to learn at home from our parents about how to be professional and be on time, and all of those soft skills are essential to be able to have a job in the marketplace.
And I know you talked about it, that you're already teaching the skills that they now have because of the good work being done out here by all the teachers. Tell everybody that may not know about it, what type of things it is that folks are able to learn out at D26.
Oh my gosh, they can learn so many things. I mean, my class is CNA, so they will leave the class with a certification to be a nursing assistant in less than a year, which is amazing. We have opportunities for welding, EMT, dental, vet careers. All of those will come out with certifications that are industry recognized. So those are really advantageous for all the students, and plus they also can use that certification to be able to have that push sometimes to get that graduation requirement done. So that's really important too. So that really helps the graduation rates of our students.
Yeah, I remember years ago, you just go to school, you get your credits, you get your
Right.
high school diploma, but now you can not only get that, but you can also get the certifications, and then in certain instances get dual credits too towards college if you want.
Most all of our classes offer dual credits through Ivy Tech. For example, my class is 17 dual credits. So they'll be close to, they'll have their first semester of college pretty much paid for and get high school credit with it.
Yeah, and that obviously at today's cost, that's substantial.
It's super, yeah.
Well, thank you so much, and thank
Thank
you for
you.
applying. We really love doing business with you guys.
Yes.
You guys do such a great job. So
Well, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Wood. Thank you. Thank you. So you might tell them a little bit about what you guys do individually with respect to your positions right now at the school.
Absolutely.
So as school social workers, it's our job to help and support students, not only socially and emotionally, but also making sure that their basic needs are being met. And we know that food sustainability is a huge problem or concern in our community. And so we want our students to be able to perform academically at their best, and we know that along with that, it's important for them to have proper snacks, food, and water. So hydration and regulation through food.
How long do you think $2,000 will last?
Should be up until next school year. This
Okay, so it
semester
should be
that
good
we're
for
in.
the whole year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tell me your name again.
Missy Morris.
And you're Melissa.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Well,
We're
thank
excited.
you guys so very much. Thank you for applying. I know that there was pretty tight competition this year because of our funding, so you obviously rose above everybody. So thank you again for applying, and good job.
Well, we
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for your support of our students. We appreciate it.
So have you applied for a grant before?
Yes, sir. We applied last year.
Last year. Did you get a grant last year?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How much of a grant did you get last year?
We applied for the $2,000 and got the $2,000 that we applied for.
Okay, so how did you use the money last year?
We used it to go back to these young men and women in the program, paid for their naval ball, so they could not have to pay out of pocket to
Right.
come to the naval ball, have their food paid for, and have a good time. So that was what we plan on using it for at the end of the year again, is reward these young men and women for doing great things throughout the year,
Okay.
and have a nice military ball.
So how much did you ask for this year? 2,000 again?
Yes, sir.
And you got 2,000.
Yeah, I would
I hope
think
so.
so. I think.
So how many students will this help? I mean, how many students do you have in the
I think we're about 125 as of this morning.
Okay, wow. And that's, tell me what that program is again.
The Navy Junior ROTC
Okay.
for Anderson High School.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a pretty good program.
It's wonderful. So, I mean, in American Attest, we do a lot of things out in the community. We go to all these food drives, all the different food drives we have for the schools.
Right.
We do all the events. We do Color Guard. We did the Martin Luther King event at the Paramount.
They did the color guard for the for our inauguration.
Yes, absolutely.
They helped us with crowd control and direction during
Yes, sir.
Trunk or
event that we
treats.
had.
We are going to use that money to support our A-Town Showdown, which is a show choir competition, something we used to have here years ago, and we brought back this year. So it'll be helping fund all the expenses from that.
So how important is it that the mayor does this through the,
Oh, extremely, extremely. Having that kind of support means so much to our students and to our teachers here, because it really shows that the city of Anderson is behind what we do here.
And so I might just ask you a little bit about, I know you've done this before, but really do appreciate that you keep us in mind to try to get a little extra funds for the kids and stuff. What do you plan on doing with this money?
Yeah, well, this go around, the grant cycle was to help get some of our equipment for our robotics coursework and some of our extracurricular work as well. The robotics kits, they get updated every few years from suppliers, and so this money is going to help us keep some of that equipment up to date.
Yeah.
And get the kids hands-on projects, some creative projects that they build and design with. It's for mostly some of our engineering and engineering technology students, also some that are kind of interested in the manufacturing side of things.
Well, as we went around to the different schools, we found it real interesting how they're starting at a very, very early age with some engineering concepts and getting kids interested and seeing if that's something they'd be interested in. And then obviously they make their way up to you.
That's right. And part of these things isn't just kits that they use to design physical structures, but also software. It's all encoded with this. So they're also doing some programming with it. They're generating small group projects. Some of these model different type of even like assembly line type of projects, or it's just kind of a fun use of a machine technology. So we incorporate them in many different activities in our engineering program.
How do you feel? How do the kids react to all that?
Oh, they get very energized. I mean, it's one of those things, especially more than once, it's just like time to clean up, and it's like already, the time goes by so fast in class, the kids are engaged, and then the next day they're diving right back in, ready to go with it.
Well, that's great.
So it keeps them challenged, and they see a lot of practical uses of that.
So I am using the money to get some special seating for the classroom to help us with our social emotional, so our students can focus better and they can worry about more on the academics than the need of movement or any other sensory needs that they may need. So I'm going to get some special seating and some special fidgets just to help them out throughout their learning process.
You might let the kids know and so forth what this is all about.
Yeah, so guys, we're going to be going, we're going to have a 2-week project towards the end of the year. First week will be Discovery Week, where we go around to places in the community and check out things that could apply to your life in the future, such as independent living skills, post-secondary education choices, careers. And then the following week we'll come back here and create projects to apply to all those concepts, and that we are Project Week.
So ladies, I have here a check. I was handed to you and a certificate, and I just want to thank you for applying and being part of the Mayor's Ball experience. Tell us a little bit about what you guys plan to do with the money.
Well, we do ancient civilizations and then social studies. We found that a lot of our kids were not really interested or could see a connection between ancient civilizations and what was today's history and what was going on, how the two actually coincided with each other. So we started off earlier with Mesopotamia, and we actually take trips. We take virtual field trips, and the students have passports. Miss Flanagan here, she actually dresses up as a stewardess. We have 3 stewardesses, and we have tickets, boarding passes and everything, and then they get to go. We set up our small gym, and they're able to do like digs and things, archaeological digs, to learn about the ancient civilizations. We use at the 8 features of a civilization, and then we're able to tie those in with present day civilizations and how they really impacted the way that things are today, from laws to onward.
So obviously also doing some teaching on behalf
Doing
of
some
the
teaching and
kids.
getting back in the classroom, the second year in a row here. That's
Yeah.
good.
So last year I know you worked with the kids with Lenape, and this is going to be sort of an extension of that, right?
This will be an extension of the Lenape language project. Try to keep the same kids, maybe add some kids. We're going to do some more hands-on things this year. Last year, it was a lot of classroom learning, a lot of grammar, a lot of vocabulary. This year, we're going to try to incorporate some hands-on cultural things. And since a lot of Lenape has got Dutch loanwords in it, I don't know Dutch, but I was a German teacher at one point, we're going to incorporate some German into it this time. Kind of give the kids a love of language.
Oh, great. That's great.
So,
Well, I'd like to present to you a certificate that
Thank you,
says,
sir.
that basically says thank you, and then more importantly, give you a check.
all right.
So tell me about how do the kids respond to that? Obviously, that's a language that most folks aren't familiar with on the Lenape part of it. So how do they respond to all that?
You know, well, we did two parts. We did a cultural part where they learned the authentic history of Anderson and their connection to the Lenape, and then we learned the language. They all loved it. They all soaked it in. You know, kids learn these languages really quick, and they really like to learn it, and it's something that their friends didn't know. So they really responded really well. And then I got some reports that they were going home and teaching their parents and teaching their friends Lenape.
Wow, that's cool.
So yeah, they just all loved it. It was a great thing.
Well, what I think's great is obviously we had a little bit of a discussion regarding Chief Anderson and,
Yes.
and the cultural that we had back at the start of our community. And to have you sort of bringing that back alive is really a nice thing.
It was the agreement we had with the Delaware Tribe of Indians that we would bring up the authentic history, continue to educate on it. And I'm a man of my word, and I said that's what we were going to do, and that's what we continue to do.
Well, that's great. Well, we're happy to be a little bit of that, part of that. So
I thank you, Mayor.
thank you for applying, and thank you
Thank
for
you very much.
continuing to work with the school system, with the community
Thank you.
to help
Sure.
keep things going.
I appreciate it. Anderson Schools appreciates it, and what's more, the kids really appreciate
Well,
it.
that's great. Thank you, Doctor.
All right,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. I might start with you, Ms. Miller. So
Sure.
tell us a little bit about what your project's going to look like.
Well, we're going to be using the money to create some. Do you want to tell us a little bit
Some
about
murals. We
Yes.
want to include art throughout the school. It's not as easy just to paint on walls, and now we're going to be able to place them, move them, show the kids art, and spread it amongst the school, not just in our tiny little cove over here. We're going to be everywhere.
So you'll be painting on something other than the wall and then moving it around?
Yeah, that way we'll be able to have a little bit more freedom and not necessarily have to worry about whether it's okay to paint this place or that place and wait for permission. That way, we can display the art in a little bit more of a, I don't know, like a
General area.
Yeah, general area, just easier way to move it around the building and make it a little bit more.
Make it the kids interested that aren't in art to come down to
Yeah.
art or want to be in art next year.
Oh, that's cool. So tell me about how will you pick the themes and the topics for the pictures?
We have an art club, and we kind of collaborate and do ideas and sketches of what we might want to make, and then we collaborate, put them together, and make one big picture.
Probably pull the classes too, a little bit with what we want to do. So we thought about even using, like, for instance, it's Black History Month, and we thought about maybe even doing something with Black History Month as we're getting into that, and maybe some of the looking forward to some of the other holidays and kind of celebrating all the people
That's great.
in Anderson.
So tell me about how long will it take to do any particular one, would you say?
At least one, it will take maybe a month just through getting kids
Process.
in and the big paper we want to do and how big we want it to look.
Well, that's cool. Well, congratulations again. So how long have you guys been teaching?
I've been teaching here for 2 years, so it's my second year.
Congratulations.
I think about 7 for me.
7? Okay, well, great. And how many, I know you guys are at 2 different grade levels. Which grade are you teaching?
8th grade.
8th?
7th.
7th, okay. How many kids apiece do you have?
I have about 130.
I'm at about 108 this year, so,
Okay.
or this quarter.
Good sized classes, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
We got some
Well,
artists.
thank you so much for applying. We appreciate that. We look forward to seeing your pictures, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
This money that the mayor has given us is because I wrote a grant. So, see, writing can be profitable.
That's right.
Mhm.
So what we do every year is we put on a function and raise money for the schools, and then the teachers apply for it through a grant process. And like Ms. Sipe said, she had to write a grant, and then it gets graded. You guys are used to that, right? So it gets graded by 3 different individuals, and they don't know who wrote it. They don't know what school it is. It's sort of in a blind, so that way everybody's treated fairly. And Mrs. Sipe's project was graded very high, and so she was awarded the money. So she'll be able to use it this year for some projects that affects all of you guys. So we want to say thank you to her for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
So what are your plans with this particular grant money, are you thinking?
Okay, this grant money is for a production called Mean Girls Junior, and that is a kind of a cautionary tale that takes a girl through a journey of what it means to be popular and what it can and cannot do, and she learns a lesson about being herself and being the best self she can be.
Mr. Bailey, thank you so very much for applying to the grant this year. So I do have a certificate for you that
All right, great.
thanks you for your efforts, and most importantly, a little bit of money.
Yes, that's great.
Help you out.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about the project that you're going to use these funds for, and then maybe talk generally about a lot of the different things. I know you cover a large array of stuff in your classes. So
Okay, so this is an engineering course here at the middle school. So about every 2 weeks we do a project. And so every year I'm trying to add new projects. This year in particular is going to be a tools project. So I'm going to have 4 stations set up. One will be residential electricity, plumbing, just basic hand tools, and then I'm going to teach them a little bit of woodworking tools too. So they'll rotate through those, and that's what this particular grant's going to be. Over the years I've gotten another grant from you, and we've used that as well. Right now they're working on architecture. After this, we are actually going to do residential electricity, and that was part of one of your previous grants. So we really appreciate it.
yeah, well, thank you so very much. Yeah, it's very impressive watching the kids right now work on this.
Yeah.
And you're saying these are just 2-week?
Well, it depends. This is about 2.5 weeks. It just
Okay.
really depends. Some of them really get into it, and what I always tell them is you're going to do a project here and there where you're not going to get into it, but you at least know what you don't want to do in the future. So you're at least learning that. So,
Yeah.
so some of the kids really get into it, and it just depends on the project.
Yeah,
So,
well, the couple I looked at over there are very impressive, really.
yeah, they are.
So when you move on from this project, what will be your next, you think?
Residential electricity.
That'll be
That's what we're going to do. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So what would that entail? How much scope would you say?
They're going to wire up a receptacle to a switch to a light fixture, make an extension cord, and when they plug it in, everything should be functional.
So they can fix my lamp at home.
Hopefully. I hope so.
Well, hey, thank you so very much. Sounds like you guys do a lot. And what are the other areas that you cover? Obviously, talk about shop a little bit.
3D printing, we do a lot of that. Let's see here. Again, this was our architecture unit. We do a little bit with manufacturing, of course. We make a lot of prototypes in here, so they have a chance to be creative with a lot of their projects. And like in my classroom, I actually have a bunch of them hanging from my ceiling, the good ones over the years that they let me keep. Generally that's what we're doing.
You do great work. Thank you so very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations. So, Ms. Robertson, thank you so much for applying. So tell us a little bit about what you're going to do with the funds here.
Well, the funds are going to go towards buying some extra equipment for our fitness program we have. We have some stuff. I just needed a little more extra stuff to get these kids having more fitness.
Good. So how long have you been involved in education?
20 years.
20 years now.
Yep.
All right. So tell us about the classes that you're involving yourself with right now.
I teach PE right now. It's fitness and some games, and we're just the kids having fun.
I know there's a lot of talk these days about folks needing a little bit more exercise and being a little more healthier. How are you finding the young folks that you're running into now? Are they doing better, or are they excited about exercising and doing some of these things?
Well, it just depends on the kid and what the activity is. Like, they're getting into this fitness stuff, so that's why we're trying to push it a little more.
Sure. And I hear some balls bouncing out there, so I assume there's a little basketball being played?
Yeah, that's the other class in there, yes.
Okay. Well, listen, we certainly appreciate everything you do, and thank you again for applying, and hopefully this money will help you out a little bit, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
I
sir.
appreciate
Take
it.
care of yourself. So, Mr. Taylor, thank you again. I know you've been doing this for a while now. So how long have you been teaching band?
This is year 35 for me.
Wow, 35, halfway there.
Yeah, yes, all here in Anderson.
Well, thank you so much for applying. I have a certificate that says thank you, and then more importantly, I have some money for you. So thanks
you. I
again.
appreciate that.
So tell us a little bit about this particular grant, what you're going to be doing with the funds.
Well, this grant actually goes with our news crew. We have some students that's really above and beyond their regular classwork. They do our morning announcements, and then they will go to some of our sporting events and broadcast those events. They broadcast some of our concerts with the band, with the choir, and it's just a way of getting the information out to our student body, but also to people just out in the community. And so this, with this grant, we're going to get us a chance to get what's called a video switcher, so we can actually add more cameras to our production to give them a chance to really kind of make it look professional.
Well, that sounds great. I know our guys at Anderson TV here, they like to hear that kind of thing, right? They're right behind us.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you so much. And tell us what you were talking about, the concert coming up in March.
Yes, we have a concert for a band March 14th, and it's actually more like a festival. We'll have some other teachers, some people from Anderson University, from some high schools in the area that will do a clinic with our students. So the students will perform for the audience and for these clinicians, and then they will work with them to help them improve their skills.
Okay. And that concert will be here at the school?
Here in our auditorium, starting at 7 o'clock on the 14th.
And that is open to the public, right?
Open to the public, and it's free.
Okay, well, everybody come on out and check them out. These kids are very impressive. Thank you so much for all the work you do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have this idea. When you guys get a little bit older, you'll be able to do it. But we play with toys like Legos and stuff like that, but it's not just to play. We're actually learning. We're making things like ramps and cars that you can twist and they go. So it's different things that you'll be learning in science as you keep getting older. So I thought on the Fridays, remember when you guys come in on our Fridays and it's different than the regular library day? This is when you get older, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, you'll be able to use these kits and just keep building different things as you get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, that sounds cool. Does that sound like fun? All right, all right. Well, thank you so much. Tell us about this class. What's going on here?
All right, this is Mrs. McGrew's class.
Hi, Ms.
She's
McGrew.
yep. And they're one of the kindergarten classes. We have 3 of them, and they're just, I mean, the whole school has great kids. So one of the fun classes that gets to come in here every week.
Well,
So,
good.
yeah.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad you guys are doing good, and thank you so very much for everything you're doing for the kids. Well, I'm with Amy Ault, and Amy, you're at the Anderson Day Center, but you're also associated with Ascension Health.
Well, I'm actually an employee of Anderson Community Schools, and so I'm considered an independent contractor here at Ascension.
Okay. So, first off, tell the folks at home a little bit about what we do here, what you do here.
Okay. Well, this place is for students who, for whatever reason, struggle in the typical school setting, and they come here for just some extra help. A lot of times it's mental health help, which is so very important. And then the goal is to get them back into regular school eventually with some of the tools and the skills that they learn while they're here. So,
Well, we were talking a little bit earlier, you've been in special ed for most of your adult life as far as from the teaching aspect, and then left the Hamilton school system
I
and
sure
came
did.
here.
Came to Anderson, which is my hometown. I grew up here and thought it was silly for me not to be actually connecting with the people in the community. And I love this community, and I see a lot of potential.
Well, we appreciate everything that you're doing, and you applied to the Mayor's Grant, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
And so tell us a little bit about what you're going to do with the funds.
Well, we just finished a unit on ecosystems. The 7 major ecosystems, the kids got to pick which one they wanted to research. They did a presentation, they talked about the different animals, some threats to that particular ecosystem, and so with that, we have silly safaris that come and they bring wild animals, and they get to talk about why, what their habitats are, what their adaptations are. So it goes beautifully along with what we just did in our science.
Well, that's great. Well, we appreciate your applying. I know we did this last year, I
Yes,
think, too, about the
we
same
did.
time. So we have for you a certificate.
Thank you.
We're appreciating what you're doing, and then here is your funds.
Thank you so much.
That will help you. And again, thank you so much for what you do. And like you said, I mean, obviously mental health is such an important thing for kids as well as adults. And it's great that facilities are doing such good work on behalf of our students.
Thank you. Thank you for what you do too for us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, Mrs. Stevenson applied for what they call a grant. So she had to write a grant. So it's obviously important to learn how to write well. And she did a real good job setting out what she wanted to do with some extra money for the kids. And she was selected. They grade her grant like you would grade some of your papers. And she did really well on it. And so we're proud to be here today to present to you. So if you want to come on over, I'll go ahead and this is a certificate of our appreciation for what you do. And then, of course, most importantly, the check.
Yes,
So
thank
there
you.
you go.
Thank you so much.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you're planning on doing with the money?
Well, I have a STEM background, and I plan on using it to bring robots to Holy Cross. So there is a product called Lego We Do, and it is enhances their critical thinking, their problem-solving skills, their collaboration. So I plan on bringing that here.
Well, that's excellent. So how long have you been teaching now?
For here, this is my first year, but I've been teaching a total of 15 to 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys like robotics probably, don't you? You like robots? Okay. So you're going to have some students that are ready to go when you get it.
They're ready. They've been practicing on the computer.
Well, that's great. So talk a little bit about the class, the grade and age level here.
This is first grade. There's 18 of them, and they're ages 6 and 7.
Great. Well, we appreciate everything you do, and thank you to the school. You guys, obviously, the school's been a very major part of our community for many, many years, and we certainly appreciate the opportunity to stop by and say hello to all of you. You guys look like you're all very smart. You think you could skip first grade and go straight to second? What do you think? Maybe? Okay.
I don't want them to leave.
No,
I like
wouldn't.
this group.
No, it's a very handsome and pretty group. You guys look great. Well, thank you so much for allowing
Thank
us to
you.
come in and spend a couple minutes with you.
Thank you.
Good seeing you.
Nice
Thank
meeting
you.
you.
Thank you. And thank you again. All right. Appreciate it so very much. So tell us a little bit about what you're going to do with these funds.
Sure. So the first one is for here, and it is for my preschool out clients I see for speech. So I'm asking for a dramatic play center and a sensory bin to work on some dramatic play to help them with their speech and communication. So that's the first one.
That's great.
And then the second one is kind of for both places, is just for a bunch of picture cards to work on their speech, just some different modes of cueing, so they can see a picture that is associated with a sound, and they'll kind of learn that to help them with their speech.
Now, what age range are we talking about?
I see preschool through 5th grade. Yeah.
A wide range.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I have about 70 kids right now. So.
Oh, wow.
mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so what are the sort of the tenets that you're working on with regards to speech? What tends to be the thing that you have to work with the most?
Oh, goodness. Well, they all have different goals. So for speech, it would be specific sound. So maybe they can't say an R sound or an S sound. Maybe they have a lisp or stuttering, something like that. And then the other side of that would be language. So maybe they have trouble with their grammar, or they can't put more than 3 words together. So we're working on trying to increase how much they can put together. So a wide range of things.
So you probably have to do a lot of one-on-one then.
Well, actually, I see them in a group. That's the hard part. Yeah, yeah. So as I see them in a group, each person I work on their individual goal. And we usually have one kind of activity that they all work on together, but they all have individual goals.
That's great. And you say you got about 70 students altogether that you work with?
Yes,
Wow.
right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, and thank you so much for applying. We appreciate that and wish you the very best.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing with the funds.
Well, I need multiplication games and division games, so that was my big project for this game. We needed a lot of resources that we just overused and kind of beat
Wear
up.
'em out?
Yeah, wore them out after 20 years. So a lot more games, a lot more manipulative stuff that they can learn their basic facts on.
Good.
So yeah.
Good. Now, what age range do we have here working with
Okay,
us today?
this is just our third grades, and most of these are our 8 to 9-year-olds. Yeah.
Okay, well, great, great.
Good,
And
good hard workers. This is
yeah,
one of my better groups.
I'm reflecting back as I look at that on the multiplication, learning the multiplication tables back
Yeah.
a few years ago.
Yeah, just
So how do the kids, has that changed the way you teach that over the years?
Yeah, yeah. No, it really has. You're right. It, they need more hands-on stuff because they just haven't had enough experience. They don't buy stuff, like we used to work with a lot of coins and stuff,
Yeah.
and they don't get that, so we got to build that resource back
Then work
up.
with a debit card?
Yeah. They just think, we just swipe it, but they need to understand what goes into fax coming in and everything.
Yeah.
They can't just keep on swiping that card and let it keep on. Sooner or later, you got to pay the,
Yep.
pay the piper for it. You got to have those resources inside. But
How many kids do you work with?
I work with about 41 is on my log right now, 29 to 41 depending on where we're at. A lot of transitioning going in and out, but that's good. That means they're moving them out to a bigger classroom and stuff. So that's good. We want them to get the skills they need and then head off to good.
How many years have you been in education?
I've been here since 2007. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for all you do for all the kids. Looks like
Love it.
they're definitely paying attention to what they're doing, so you're
Yep.
doing something right there, that's for sure.
No, it's a very good group.
Well.
Thank you. Though this will be, I was so excited. I told them about they don't quite understand, but when I get when the boxes start coming, I let them open it up. They'll understand.
That's right, that's right. Well, thank you so very much.
Thank you so
Appreciate it.
much. I appreciate it.
Congratulations again.
Thank
Well,
you. We'll
thank
get
you,
the
dear.
right-
There we go. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Recognizes you
much.
for doing what you're doing. And then we'll give you this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you're going to do with the funds.
Okay, so as a kindergarten reading specialist, I spend time with my friends, either one-on-one or in a small group setting, and we are learning about phonemic awareness, teaching them how to read and hear those sounds, and so I'm going to use the money to buy materials that'll make it hands-on, interactive, and also get some decodable readers so that I can teach them how to read.
Oh, good. You guys looking forward to that? You're not?
Nope.
Yeah, you are.
We can play games and have fun with letters and sounds.
Think of all the cool stuff
Right?
you'll be able to do, and you can read some things. That'll be neat, won't it?
I think it will be. So I'm excited. They'll get excited.
So how
too.
many children do you work with usually in a school year?
Oh my goodness, it's quite a few,
Wow.
quite a few. So mainly all kindergarten, and so I mean I see all of them. So 70, 75, and usually I will see 45 to 50 a day.
When we were kids, I was a kid, we didn't expect you to read necessarily when you came into kindergarten. But
Right.
That's a whole different story now.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
So, but got to start with the sounds first. Then they'll learn the letters and learn how to decode, and before you know it, they'll be reading.
Well, that's great. Well, wish you guys
Yeah.
luck. I know you're going to be fine. And thank you
Yes.
so very much for
Thank
taking out your
you.
time, and thank you for
Absolutely.
applying. We look forward to seeing the results.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about what you're thinking about doing with this money this year.
Okay, I actually wrote a grant for a smart board, and what it is a board I'll keep in the room that is interactive, where the kids will be able to go up and interactively learn and move things, and I don't know. I'm excited about
You're
getting
gonna see it too,
Yeah,
huh?
I've
Okay.
never used one, so I'm excited about getting it and learning all about it because it's new to me too.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And so we have 23 kids starting tomorrow, right?
Yes, starting
Okay.
tomorrow.
And you have other classes that you have as well, or is this it for
This
the whole
is it.
thing? Okay.
Kindergarten,
Fixed.
yep, all day.
Okay. Well, that's good. And what are the hours that the kids are spending now in kindergarten?
Oh, well, we start school at 8:50. That's the first bell. So we start at 9, and then we're here till about 3:30.
Okay. And what seems to be the most of the activities or skills that you're trying to teach the kids at this level?
The biggest thing right now we're working on would be just simply counting and adding and subtracting, basic addition and subtraction. And then for language arts, we're working a lot on sounds. We're working more with the science of reading, which is new to a lot of us, and we're pushing more on the sounds and getting that reading skill ready.
Sort of back to phonics, if you will?
Yes, yes, like we did back in the day.
Right. Well, how long have you been in education now?
This is my 22nd year. 18 I was in kindergarten 18 years, and I tried first grade a couple years, but my heart was in kindergarten, so I came back.
Big difference between the two. You wouldn't think that, but
Yes,
certainly
very
is.
big.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The kids talked about back in the day, so do the kids as they come in today into kindergarten, a lot of them had a lot of preschool and stuff. How do you find them as compared to going back 20 years ago?
Well, we see a lot. Some come from preschool, some do not. But as my years, from my previous years to currently, I feel like it's more of a struggle sometimes. But the excitement is when they learn and when that light bulb kicks on, and I don't know, it just makes you feel good.
That's what keeps you going,
Yes,
right?
yes.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for applying and thank you for all that you're doing. We know you work hard for the little ones, and looks like they're doing good here today. So
Yes.
thank you so very much.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Thank you. So I'm with Ryan Davis out here at Edgewood Elementary School. Ryan, congratulations. Thank you so much for applying.
Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity.
Yeah, and you were telling me a minute ago, this is your actual first year teaching here.
First year teaching.
Yeah,
Yes.
anywhere, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, good. Well, you did good then. So, and paramedic before?
Yes, I spent 10 years working in public safety as a paramedic and just made a career change into teaching.
Well, good. Well, thank you for your prior service and thank you for what you're doing for kids today. And so let me go ahead and present to you a certificate that shows our appreciation for all you're doing. And then, of course, the check.
Awesome.
And tell us a little bit about what you're planning on doing with this grant.
Yes, well, thank you. So I have fifth graders, and they are very hands-on. They like to be up and moving. So we are working on some adaptive seating options in our room. We are getting different types of tables that allow students to use manipulatives to erase, draw on the table, do hands-on things, because kids very much like to be touching, moving, feeling, especially at the fifth grade level. And so this will allow us that opportunity to get those manipulatives that we need in the classroom to provide kinesthetic learning for our students.
Well, that's great. So you're halfway through now. So how are we doing on the first year halfway through?
We're getting there. It's great. It's been a big adjustment, but I'm really enjoying it, and we're learning how to work together as a team.
Well, that's great. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you what you're doing, and good luck to you. We look forward to checking back in with you when you get your stuff all set up, okay?
Yeah, we appreciate coming back and see the kids anytime.
Yeah, we'd like to. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate
Awesome.
it. Thank you for your help. Thank you. So I was asking Ryan a second ago, what you going to do with the money you're receiving?
Well, we used last year's AF Impact grant and built a really large classroom garden outside. And so we're putting more in it.
Oh, good.
This is kindergarten.
Sure.
So we're putting more seats, more benches. We do learning out there. We plant all vegetables, and the children get to harvest them in the fall.
That's great.
Our classes this year will plant, and then next year we'll harvest.
Okay, that sounds great.
It's
How many kids you working with?
We have 42.
42 kids.
43 now. Yeah.
40, okay, well, that's
So,
good.
yes.
And how long have you been in the education business?
This is my 18th year of kindergarten.
18th year.
Yeah.
Well, good. A lot of changes over those years?
Lots.
Oh, good.
I think we're in the right pace now.
So that's good.
It's really good, yeah.
That's good. Well, we look forward to coming back and checking out some of the goodies when it comes
Please.
harvest time.
When it's harvest time. We were in the paper last year with the children
I
eating their
remember.
tomatoes. Yeah.
I remember.
It's been wonderful.
Yeah.
It's been hard work.
Yeah.
Lots of hard work.
Well, it's a lot of good, probably learning experience, also working together, and at the
It's
same time, kind of a peaceful setting for kids
Yes,
to interact.
it's great. And we have pools where they can dig, and we have little trinkets in there they can find. It's wonderful being outside. And then having, we do things like carrots, cilantro, pumpkins. We have a huge birdhouse gourd we're drying to make a birdhouse.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it's so much fun. We have a great time.
Well, great. Congratulations.
Thank
you so very much. You want to do a quick single shot with?
Yeah, I'd love that. Thank you.
I will give you the certificate, which says thank you, and more importantly, a little money there. So tell us a little bit about what you're going to do with your funds.
Well, I'm the resource teacher here at Edgewood Elementary, and so I'm going to get some materials to be able to teach my kids through games and be able to be a little bit more mobile in the building, maybe take my kids outside for some of our lessons and just look for different ways to educate the kids kind of outside of the realm of the normal, I guess.
Kind of a field trip that stays close by.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I'm looking for.
We were talking a minute ago about the garden that they've got. And I know
Oh,
they're
the
donated-
kindergarten, yes, that's
Yeah.
beautiful out
And they're
there.
going to do some more planting, I guess, for harvest later in the fall next year. So.
Yeah, the kids love to go out there for brain breaks, and especially the first graders, they love to show me what they've planted, and they like to check on all their projects from last year. So
So how many kids do you work with?
Currently, I work with 20. So I work with the kids that have individual education plans here in this building. And so, and I think as of tomorrow, I'll be 21.
Right.
So
I don't know what, the last 3 teachers in a row are picking up one more child tomorrow. I don't know what happened.
I think all the meetings are just kind of falling in here. And so, but yeah, just kind of making, doing that little bit extra, a little bit more interesting. And so that was kind of my goal with writing the grant.
How long have you been teaching there?
I am a brand new teacher. I'm actually teaching on an alternative license. I worked for Centerstone before I worked here, so yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining the profession, and good luck to you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Mr. Mayor.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you
Thank you.
again.
Thank you. Tell me about what you're going to do with this money.
Well, we're looking at going down to the Repertory Theater in Indianapolis. Yeah, my teammate and I spent some time, and kids are looking forward to it.
Good. And will they be going to a play, or will they be learning some skills, or what will they be doing?
I think they're going to be seeing a play that day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we've been working on it some in Class Readers Theater, and
That's great.
yeah,
How many kids do you work with right now?
20.
How long have you been involved in education?
91, 30.
I thought you were going to say 91 years. I go, nah, you're right.
91, yeah, I have to do the math. I'm over 30 years now.
Thank you for all that you do. I'd like to go ahead and present you
Okay,
a
thank
certificate
you.
and also the check, and thank you so very much. And when are you guys going to be able to do that, do you think?
I think in April. I'm hoping April.
Oh,
Should
good.
be nice weather by then.
Yeah, we hope so.
So we get a nice ride.
Yeah.
You guys
well-
get this okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, congratulations. I give you a
Thank
check, a
you.
little
Thank you very
certificate.
much.
And so tell us what you're going to do with your money.
Well, this is for a color printer for my room because I do robotics in my classroom, and it is a color-coded system where they have to build. And of course, even in the robotics club, there's different levels. Some just really catch on. And without the color, they're all kind of stuck with what's up on the screen, and you're trying to get everybody. This way, I can print it out, and they can kind of work and, and elaborate, because that's what they do. Once they get going, it's like, oh, I can change this, I can do this. So it's just gonna allow for so much more.
Well, I'll tell you, Ms. Myrick was the most frugal of our applicants. Very, I was like, I felt bad. I was like, it's a very minimal amount, but you
Yes.
asked for what you needed.
Exactly,
And I'm glad
yeah.
we were able to give it to you.
Yeah,
So-
somebody's like, well, why didn't you get a bigger one? I'm like, I don't need a bigger one, I just need printer. I just need a color printer. I don't want fancy,
Yeah.
just what I need.
Well, I appreciate it. How long have you been teaching now?
17 years.
Well, good
So,
for you.
yeah.
Well, thank you for all you do.
I thank you.
Have you changed the level of teaching as far as the age ranges that you work with now? Or have you stayed in the same area most of the time?
Well, for most of the time, actually, for most of my years, I taught first grade. And then I moved up to third grade. And then I was actually in the front office for a while, and I decided that was not for me. So I went back to the classroom, and now I'm in second grade, and I love it.
Well, good. Well, congratulations. Thank you again so much.
Thank you so much.
And
I
good luck with
appreciate
that
it.
printer. Hope it does everything you want it to do.
It will, I'm
All
sure.
righty. So we were saying a minute ago, congratulations. Give a certificate and a check, and you're going to tell us a little bit about what you're going to do with the proceeds.
I'm going to be buying some books for the library to read to the children, and I'm also going to be using an app that creates sound effects that go right with the story that I'm reading. And then we have a lot of centers in the library, so I'm going to be using the money to buy some centers, to go with a Lego table, to go with some seasonal items that will go with some different centers and activities for the students to do when they're not reading.
Well, that sounds
So,
great.
yeah.
Now, obviously, because it's library, you probably deal with all the kids, all the age groups, right?
Yes, all kindergarten through fifth grade, about 520 students are going to get access to all these materials.
Well, that's great. Well, we really appreciate your applying. So tell me, how long have you been in education now?
This is year 24.
Wow.
I've taught third, fourth, fifth, and also been a librarian. So,
So how do you like the library science end of it?
I love it. It's been just the last 2 years is how long I've been doing it. It's just been a really neat change, getting to interact with all grade levels.
Well, that's great. Well, Ms. Ettinger, thank you so very much for what
Thank
you're doing
you.
for the kids and all your years of service. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations,
I
okay?
appreciate it.
All righty.